Tencent continues its domination, and the Rowdy Rogan ban takes a turn for the worse. All that and more, my name's Ethos, and these are your top 5 stories for this week's Free-to-Play Weekly. Coming in at number 5, apparently it's RPG-themed week when it comes to Epic Game Store's free offerings. It looks like there's 2 amazing RPGs from developer Obsidian Entertainment and publisher Paradox Interactive. This week, players can grab both the gold editions of the action-adventure RPG Tyranny and the definitive edition of Pillars of Eternity. Both of these games go for $50 and $40 respectively, so it's a really good deal, of course, because, well, it's free. So make sure you guys get that before that deal is over. Coming in with story number 4, it looks like Genshin Impact story continues later this month on December the 23rd to be exact, when version 1.2 titled The Chalk Prince and the Dragon drops. The company revealed a new update last week with a story trailer and provided even more details on a special program not that long after. The update takes players to the Dragon Spine, the mountain that contains the remains of a dragon who was destroyed by Dvalin. The mountain is covered in deep snow and filled with all kinds of brand new frosty monsters. This new area is split into 8 smaller zones and come with a mechanic titled Sub-Zero Climate. Now this mechanic inflicts a sheer cold status on the player for being in the area for too long, and of course it accumulates, causing the player to lose HP once it reaches a specific limit. And it's made worse by certain actions like falling into water, or some gadgets won't work properly in this area. There are workarounds, but they mostly involve the player finding ways of staying warm. Also in this update, it looks like a familiar face is being added as a new playable character, Genyu, the Gryo Archer. And it looks like he brings a new mechanic to archery in the game, or rather he tweaks an existing one. Now while all archers can power up their shots by holding them, while this character can determine the amount of power in each shot based off of how long they're holding it before firing. And of course, this update will bring several quality of life changes to the game, such as the addition of friend nicknames in chat and tweaks to the photo taking system, and adding domain rewards directly to players' inventories, ascension improvements, and more. And moving into story number 3, Astellia Online might not be free to play, but now it has a spin-off game that appears to be carrying over many of the same elements from its predecessor. Astellia Royal launched last week and is a free-to-play MMORPG developed by Studio 8 and being published by Way2Bit, the same team that brought Astellia into the world. As in the original, you'll have Astels, which are little chibi-styled angelic creatures to aid you in a variety of ways. There's 35 of them in all, and each of them offering unique skills and providing tactical choices in battle. Apart from that twist, Astellia Royal offers the usual content you'd expect from an MMORPG, including PvE, PvP, open world crafting, dungeons, and more. And to be honest, if you look at their website, it's very hard to find much that distinguishes Astellia Royal from Astellia. So it's possible that this second game is more of a duplication of the first one rather than a spinoff. And moving into our second biggest story this week, after having several months with an exclusive negotiating window, Tencent is finally wrapping up its acquisitions of Leilu Technologies. PC Gamer Insider is reporting that the deal is worth $1.3 billion, or about 10.25 billion in Hong Kong dollars, with Leilu being taken over by a Tencent subsidiary, Image Frame Investments. The deal was agreed to in an extraordinary general meeting on December the 11th and will be finalized on December the 23rd. Now, of course, the biggest question from this means what will happen to Warframe developer Digital Extremes, as well as Athlon Games, both of which were owned by Leilu. What we can guess is really virtually nil. As much as there is strong anti-Tencent feeling out there, it's hard to say that it's had a particularly negative effect on other companies it's acquired, notably Grinding Gear Games, which Tencent owns 80% of, and Riot Games, which owns 100% of. And if you really look at a list of every single company that they've acquired from the beginning, it's very hard to argue in good faith that they're all in worse shape because of Tencent's influences. It actually seems to be mostly the opposite. Or at least Tencent is actually honest about who it acquires and when it does, which is more than what can be said for, well, some other companies. All right, and moving into your number 1 story of the week, I'm sorry, I know this is not really a crazy story, but it's still bonkers to me, and I just want to talk about it because this is insane to me. So if you guys remember last week, I talked a little bit about Rowdy Rogan getting banned on Call of Duty Warzone, and everyone believed that Activision had banned their account. And it was speculation that he had been banned because obviously it's a minor playing it, even though his parents were playing with him. And this was all part of a thing where Rowdy Rogan was going for a phase recruitment challenge, basically, and he was making the top 20 cut. And it looks like when Rogan became a finalist, it looks like they were tasked to make a video or story go viral in order for them to make the next cuts. And for whatever reason, it looks like Rogan and his parents decided to go down the route of seeing a child fake cry by faking the banning of his account. There's a video out there that they've released that depicts the entire process and tries to leave the impression that the banning idea was Rogan's, but it's uncertain if this idea actually started with the young kid himself or if it's actually on his parents. Of course, doing this sort of thing and misleading the internet obviously left with some mixed reactions. Fans following the story had reactions ranging from the "wow, good prank, bro," to the variety of outright anger at being played and having the perceived emotions of a 6-year-old used to manipulate an audience. The last 3 minutes of this 12-minute video are spent with Rogan's parents trying to rationalize this stunt by the way of trying to get young gamers into the scene and get Rogan to where he wants to be, and then apologize to fans that may be angry that they were manipulated, as well as apologizing to Activision for the negativity they got as a direct result of this fake banning. Now, of course, will this pay off? I don't know, maybe in the short term, but if you really think about it, it looks like this could go either way. People don't like being played or manipulated, especially on the internet, and of course using a child to emotionally manipulate people isn't really a good look and not a standard I would personally want my kids to live up to. But at the end of the day, I guess mission accomplished because it did in fact go viral. And I personally hate I covered this story at all. Let's move a little bit into the question of the week, which kind of goes in this rowdy Rogan. Do you think with this banning being fake, do you think that there should be some consequences to it? Do you think, oh, it was just a prank, it's okay? Do you think Activision should actually take action due to them falsifying a ban? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's your top 5 stories for this week's Free to Play Weekly. Don't forget to check out mmobomb.com for giveaways and the latest news. My name's Ethos, and I'm going to be out until next year, so I'll see you guys next year. Hopefully for a way better year than this year. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Peace out, everyone.